Ladies and gentlemen, today's video is definitely going to be a more depressing one. And it's crazy because I've known about this information for a little while now. And I really thought that, knowing about it for so long, I wouldn't be affected. I can, get over the shock now and move on with my day. But now that this information has officially launched, I can confirm that I did not move past my shock. It still hurts just as much as it did when I first heard about this new information. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see on your screen right here, JbowenDaMan put out a tweet saying, after an incredible 18 years and 8 Call of Duty games, I am moving on to explore new opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT himself, the face of Treyarch, has officially left. No more Vaughn when it comes to anything related to Black Ops or any future, obviously, Treyarch Call of Duty games. It's crazy to me because we've known him for so long. It's like saying goodbye to a family member or a best friend, even though we don't even know him, we never talked to him. Maybe some people have, been able to have the honor to talk to such a GOAT, but a lot of us never had the chance to, and it feels so personal because we've known him, like I said, for ages. His first game that he made was Call of Duty 2, the Big Red One, which was my very first Call of Duty game I've ever played, which got me hooked on the franchise. Then he worked on Call of Duty 3, then World at War, all the way up to Black Ops Cold War. He has been here basically since day one, ladies and gentlemen. Constantly working, putting in tons of effort, and just proving to the community what they, or I should say Treyarch, not they, what Treyarch is capable of. Like I said earlier, he is the face of Treyarch. When I think of that development team, I think of JbowenDaMan. 1010%. You guys can give me some other list of people that you think of. Please do. I will love to, see what you guys have to offer, but I can't. I can't think of anybody else. Maybe Tony Flame just because of his name. Come on now. Come on. How could you not hear Tony Flame and not remember that? But when it comes to the face of Treyarch, that is Vaughn all day, every day. Even with him not being here anymore, I cannot look at Treyarch without thinking of JbowenDaMan. It's quite literally impossible. But as depressing as this news is, I don't think anybody should be giving any hate, any anger, none of that stuff at all, because we have to be realistic here. He has been working on Call of Duty for 18 years, people. 18, that's insane. This is an end of an era. It quite literally is an end of an era, but he has been around for ages. He has been through so many different Call of Duty experiences. Like I said, Call of Duty 2, the Big Red One. Call of Duty 3, which had a massively different multiplayer experience compared to Call of Duty 4 and World at War. Then bringing in Black Ops 1, which, enhanced the whole environment. He built up the whole zombie. Come on now. He is putting so much work into this franchise. At a certain point, he's going to get burnt. That's a lot of years to work on one specific game, especially a game, let's be real here, it's pretty darn similar to one another. It's Call of Duty. It's not like, we have 3 years, 4 years in between games and they're making massive jumps and improvements. No, they're making minor tweaks here and there. I can only assume it gets tedious after some time and the creativity becomes a bit stale, especially working for someone like Activision. Low-key, I'm thinking behind the scenes, he was just getting sick and tired of Activision. I can't imagine any developer or anybody in general that would want to work for such a company. They're scum, and they destroy every last bit of creative freedom that these people have. Black Ops 4 was just a jumbled mess. They had so much creative freedom when it came to, making a new campaign-style, open-world experience, co-op-style experience, along with, all this other stuff, and then they had to scrap all of that, add in a battle royale, this, that, and the third, that to be forced into Black Ops Cold War and save the day over Sledgehammer game. Who wants to work for Activision at this point? It takes away from the fun of game design because game design is about creativity and, enjoying yourself along with enjoying yourself with the community. And you just can't do that nowadays. Between Activision not allowing any communication between the development teams, basically, and their community, which so far Sledgehammer's been doing a good job. I'm curious how it's going to be once the game launches and through Season 1, because that's typically when all these development teams fall off. Even Sledgehammer with Vanguard, they fell off a bit when it came to Season 1, right? It's just typical. They communicate during the betas, they fall off during the actual life cycle. But between all the hurdles that Activision puts between the developers, the community, and their actual game, I can't imagine it's any fun working for them whatsoever. So I really do think that, Vaughn was just getting sick of that. But at the end of the day, I can see a very realistic vision of him just being tired of making COD. 18 plus years of this, especially dealing with the community. Remember the BO2 death threats? He's been through it all, okay? He's been through a lot of crap. He's probably just exhausted of the same game. So, yes, this is depressing news. This is really sad, but it's good for him because he gets to start a new chapter of his life. He gets to venture out and, accomplish more goals and new things that he wants to do. And that's always important. That's always an important thing to do. And it keeps things fresh in your life. So I have to respect that all day, every day. But I'll be honest, that's not what the majority of the community is, up in arms about right now. A lot of people are scared that this will indeed affect the future of Treyarch and their future games, because obviously a lot of people were putting their faith that 2024 was going to be our savior. Keep in mind, Treyarch has not had a good full development cycle in ages, right? Black Ops 4 was jumbled up for them. Black Ops Cold War, they had to come and save the day from Sledgehammer Games, so had barely any time to put it together. They've always been used as a team to, pick up the slack. That's it. And I guess it's because Activision trusts them so much. They're a good team, They put in that work, so they know that since they could put in so much work, they could be, thrown out right on the line, in seconds worth of time given to them, right? And they can still produce something that's semi-quality. But this was going to be the first time that we see a full development cycle for Treyarch in a long time. And now Vaughn is not going to be going ahead and being a part of that. Now, again, I can see where this is stressful. And I can see where people might be gaining the opinion that, maybe, he left because maybe 2024 is in a bad spot right now. The game is not looking good, or it's in development hell and he just didn't want to be a part of it. But realistically, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem, First and foremost, he was there at the very beginning of the game, at least, so he at least helped with the foundation, and the foundation is the most crucial part, Later on, yeah, adding in certain things could be a pain, but that could be adjusted. The core elements of the game cannot, They have to make sure the foundation of that game is solid and sound, or else the rest will crumble. It will never be good, right? So he was there for that. He helped put that together, so that's, 2 thumbs up. And also, the people that he picked for this team are talented. I'll be honest. Treyarch, even though he's not going to be there anymore, they have the arcade feel of Call of Duty in their soul, in their hearts. Even Black Ops Cold War, like I said, that had a lot of influences from, Modern Warfare games, and, it was a bit slower than your, traditional, I guess, Treyarch title. It was still much better than what we've got. I would say Cold War is probably the best game out of the past 4 that we have right now, with the time that they've had. And Vaughn probably didn't even have that much, time in that game either. He probably put in work, obviously, but compared to what he did probably back in the day with Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, maybe even Black Ops 3, he probably didn't have too much in on Black Ops Cold War. He assisted, but I don't think he probably went balls to the walls with it, you know what I'm saying? So that right there, in my opinion, proves that the team that he hired is competent. They know what they're doing, and like I said, they know the identity that Treyarch is supposed to carry, When they look up on the walls and they look at all these games, they're not going to be looking at a bunch of Joe Cots and doors and, all of that stuff. No, they're going to be looking at Vaughn, the GOAT, and his legacy that he left that they now have to try to carry. It's scary to think of, I know, but I think that they're going to be able to go ahead and do it. I don't want to be too hopeful for them, but, because obviously Activision is still in the picture, especially for their game. I don't think Microsoft's going to take over completely until 2025. And even with 2025, which is being produced basically right now probably by Infinity Ward, I'm assuming, unless Sledgehammer's going to come in and try to produce something, is still under control by Activision right now. So, I don't know. Maybe 2026 they'll have full control over the games and what's going on, but we'll see with Microsoft. Even with thick skill-based matchmaking and disbanding lobbies, so on and so forth, I'll tell you one thing. Treyarch doesn't have to brag and boast about bringing back core features. They put them in the game because they know they're supposed to naturally be in COD. It's a part of Call of Duty's identity. You don't run into situations like this. I bet you when Treyarch's next game comes out, they're not going to be sitting there advertising their game as, oh, look, we got red dots in the Treyarch game. Oh, look, we can actually move in a Treyarch game. We actually have movement. We can ADS and we can strafe. They're not going to be advertising their game like that because they don't have to, because they don't need to brag about stuff like that because they do it. They understand what makes a good Call of Duty game. Again, Activision is going to weigh them down, of course. But that main fact right there is why I think that Treyarch can still produce something good. Even with all the top devs leaving, I still think they can push through and bring us at least a decent project. Because like I said, at least they don't have to brag and boast about bringing back core features. Oh, but ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you guys. Please go down in the comment section and leave your opinions about all of this mess. Again, it's sad times to see Vaughn go, but at the same time, I'm happy for him. And I hope he finds, other things that he enjoys doing. Maybe he's going to go off and make different games, different IP, or maybe he'll just go off into the desert and chill. He probably made tons of money throughout the whole Call of Duty life cycle, so I can imagine that he might be in a good spot to just kick back a little bit. But at the end of the day, thank you, Vaughn, for everything you've done for this community. Thank you for introducing so many fantastic games to us. I still remember the OG days when I first loaded up World at War, where I met so many of my good friends that I still know current date. And also, obviously, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 era. Some of the best times of my life were created by this man. So thank you for giving us so many just fantastic moments. But as always, make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed this video, leave a dislike if you hated it. As always, subscribe and hit that bell so you can be notified on more content just like this, commentaries, live gameplays, comparisons, all of the above. And last but not least, we do stream every day besides Sundays over on Kick, so if you guys want to check that out, the stream goes live around 12 to 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Link to that is in the description down below, along with my other socials like Twitter, Discord, all that good stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in this video. See you on the next one. Peace out.